None of the prisoners survived in that prison more than 18 months.
In his book, Divine Principle, which lays out his theology, Moon says he endured suffering unimagined by anyone in history. He suffered so much he atoned for the sins of mankind and became perfect.
Reverend Moon was sentenced to death to that death camp for 5 years imprisonment.
In 1950, North Korea invaded the South. War had begun, a long confrontation between the Soviets and the West. Perversely, the Korean War saved Moon's life. UN bombers pounded the city where he was held. In the chaos, Moon was freed.
Day before, they were systematically killing all the prisoners, knowing that, UN forces coming up. Before Reverend Moon turned, luckily, the UN forces rushed the gate.
He joined thousands of refugees fleeing south to escape the communists. His followers speak with awe of how he carried an injured man across Korea.
Roughly 200 miles, walking and walking on a mountain. He carried him on the back. 80-kilogram man on the back. All the way to the south. To me, that alone shows him the Messiah, to me.
For years, the Moon organization used this photo as evidence before quietly conceding it was of someone else. In a tiny shack made of US Army ration boxes, Moon founded his Unification Church. He and his followers often went hungry.
Our tiny group, very poor. Under that circumstances, he trained us to overcome temptations of food.
In the decades that followed, Moon would become rich and powerful. His anthem, inevitably, Handel's Messiah. He'd be accused of breaking laws and seeking influence. He'd make friends in high places.
To me, that's the heart of Moon's psyche, is the drive, the need for power. He's not interested in people developing and finding themselves. He's interested in people finding him and kneeling to him and bowing to him and then giving him all their strength, all their energy, all their power.
His church would be accused of brainwashing teenagers and taking their assets.
All of your money, somebody else's money, their land, their property, any kind of real or material goods they have, your job is to get a hold of that and bring it into the organization, because outside of the organization it has no meaning, it has no value. It's property owned by Satan.
Moon would talk openly of controlling the earth. The whole world is in my hands, and I will conquer and subjugate the world.
Just as he claims to be a man of love, and yet if you look at any of his speeches will exude hatred towards those who disagree with it.
From the beginning, Moon believed that rival churches, the media, even the Korean government, were out to get him.
Just like Jesus Christ came 2,000 years ago, encountered the incredible opposition of those days of the existing religion.
In Seoul in the 50s, there were stories that Moon was having sex with female converts to purify them.
There were women coming to lectures who they'd rather be at lecture than being with their husbands or with their families. So their husbands could not understand what was going on. So for them, they must be having some kind of sexual relationship. There must be something wrong is going on in that place.
However, a later FBI report claimed that women students had been expelled from university in Seoul because of sexual initiation rites with Moon and some others.
Moon claimed that since he was the perfect man, a perfect Adam, by sleeping with women, he would purify women. And he did tell me that he did those things. It was God's work.
Divorcing his first wife, he married a woman 20 years younger than himself, Hak Jae-han. He and his new wife would be the true parents of all mankind. He told his followers, love true parents more than your own self, spouse, or children.
And he said, you know, you must know that I am your only parent and your father is bad for you. You must forget about him. You know, we are the true parents. I am the true parent.
In the early days, Moon lived above his church. His speeches would go on for half the night.
He never slept.
Never.
Continue until usually 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Never slept. His sleep time is always less than 3 hours, only 2 or 3 hours.
The Korean War had ended in a bizarre face-off between North and South. Surreal, yet deadly. It was a microcosm of what was happening all over the world. By the new Cold War.
Reverend Moon frequently said, the communist goal is to kick out God from the planet. The communistic ideology, it take over the entire world, then there's no room for God. We cannot allow God going out of this planet. We need God. Reverend Moon from the day one is truly the anti-communist.
To Moon, communist North Korea was satanic, and its Stalinist leader, Kim Il-sung, the devil.
If communists win in Cold War, and if the entire world is communized, there's no room for free men to stand.
In Seoul, nobody laughed at Moon anymore. The word now was that he had powerful new friends, including Kim Jong-pil, founder of South Korea's ferocious new intelligence agency, the KCIA. It crushed dissent. In Washington, the Americans heard that Kim Jong-pil was using Moon's church as a political tool. America was where Moon would make his future.
He looked at America as a chosen nation. So, in a most crucial role must be played by America.
Rather fortunately for Moon, he arrived in America at a time of great anguish. The Vietnam War had divided the generations.
I can't hold this day.
American cities were full of teenagers looking for answers.
Understand me.
Few knew why Americans were dying in Vietnam, or raining death on a country they'd barely heard of. Moon built his church on their self-doubt.
Here was a guy who was seemed to be totally sure. There was just this tremendous energy, tremendous force which he communicated. It was as though his whole body was going to one place, to one point.
We are not just ordinary Christians.
Teenagers would be intercepted on the street by Moonies. Often they'd be invited to some innocuous seminar.
These individuals were just unusually
open and honest and friendly and caring and playful and sweet.
Catherine Mazer was taken to a house on Long Island.